some satisfaction out of that and look forward to next year, get their injuries right, and with Danny Frawley at the helm, I think they can go into season 2003 with a lot of confidence.
If you're looking for an excuse, they didn't have a lot of luck injury-wise, did they?
Well, they lost Ben Holland early days. Richardson had injuries mid-season, and Wayne Campbell struggled with a groin problem.
Stafford early too, I guess.
Stafford early, yeah. So not much went right for the Tigers. They played in a preliminary final last year. They'll be keen to finish off on a good note, and I've got no doubt that Wayne Campbell, who I think has led them pretty well through a tough time, he'd be keen to finish on a high for them. Mark Chaffee, number 6, he's a good player. Played his 100th game a couple of weeks back.
And you'd expect them to go hammer and tongs because they've got 6 months to get over it.
Well, they have, and I reckon players in that situation free up a little bit because, the pressure's really off. They know that in 3 or 4 hours their season's over, so they can go out and enjoy the game without too much hanging on it. And as a result, I think we'll see some attacking football. And we've certainly seen attacking football with Sydney under Paul Roos. And for him,
yeah, he's pumped up already.
He is. And look, he's just been a wonderful warrior for the Sydney team. Universally respected in the AFL. Just plays his heart out. 13 years with Sydney. Captain for 10 years. I think that equals Bobby Skilton's record.
Yeah.
And Andrew Dunkley behind him. And families, isn't that lovely?
Yeah, it's one of the great, initiatives in the modern era, isn't it, that the players acknowledge their wives, their girlfriends, their kids. It's great to see.
Well, there's a few kids there, isn't there?
We saw the son rule, maybe.
Yeah. And we saw Sean Wren last night for the Hawks carry his young boy from the field after the game, and look at the little fellow with number 14 on his back. Isn't that wonderful?
Wonderful banner too.
Yeah. And they have been 2 champions. To have a player who you can put at full back for 10 years is pretty special, because full back is one of the toughest jobs to play. Every club would love to have someone who they could place there for a decade.
Well, a man who played with both Kelly and Dunkley is Neil Cordy, and he's with the coach.
Across the full forward line, Rob.
Yes, so quite a few turn-ups there. Pretty tall forward line for Sydney, in fact, with Barry Hall down there. Stafford will do the ruck work for Richmond up against his old team.
So down it goes to start this game. It's Telstra Stadium. Both ruckmen miss it. There's Tivendale. Ineffective handball. Williams at the bottom of the pack. Goods can't pick it up. Hall can. Gets it to Stafford. Tigers into attack. Inside their 50. Richardson waits it behind. Can he pick it up? He can't. Beautifully done. Well done by Barry as the Swans repel. Got it out to Kirk. And Sydney are away to the wing. Saddington. Short to half forward. Kicks good. Finds O'Loughlin. Quick dish to Williams. Swans inside 50 for the first time. Hall takes the mark. Directly in front. 40 out. Beautiful use of the footy by the Swans out of defence. And Barry Hall, who served quite a lengthy suspension back last week, kicked 7 goals against the Demons, will line up for goal number 51 for the season.
Well, he's had a good season for Sydney. His first year up here, marred a little bit by that 5-week suspension, but certainly kept himself fit and has come back in good nick.
Hall has missed. So first score of the game goes to the Swans. They're behind.
Great crowd in here at Telstra Stadium. Kick comes in, Fiora. Half back. Hits the ground running. Well played. Now he's put himself under some pressure. Great pressure coming. Now a chance for Goods. Handball out in front of Fosdyke. Wasn't really expecting it. Kick inside, attacking 50. Another chance for Gaspar. Was brilliant. Clever mark. Andrew Kellaway just chips to his captain, Campbell. Zantuck, one of 7 players to have played every game this season. High to half forward. Roden in front. And what a great debut year for David Roden also. 22 games alongside his name. High to Richardson. The fist from Goods was effective. Boundary throw.
And that's great play there by Goods to get back and help his teammate. A lot of the attacks for Richmond will go through Matthew Richardson, and no doubt the coaching staff at Sydney would have told their ruckman, this big fellow in screen, to get back there and get a fist on the ball and help out your defenders.
Stafford against Goods. Goods got the front posse. Snap at goal by Coghlan is way offline. And bit of theatrics there from the goal umpire. Did it very nicely. Signalled out on the full. So free kick to the Swans in the back pocket. They're a point. 2.5 gone first quarter. Tigers yet to score. It's Barry, who of course had that horrendous injury early in the year. It's a credit to him that he's back playing in 2002. Short to Goods. Towards the wing, the kick's perfect, and he finds Schwabel. Or as Michael Christian says, Schwabel. Schwabel, the half forward. Saddington takes the mark and he's off. Just pushed off the ball at the last minute by Roden. Bowden's in trouble. Great tackle by Hall. Gasper. And a couple of nice things early, and that's a good kick to Zantac at half back.
Handball after Rogers. Loose player on the wing. Ottens. Well in front of Dunkley. Probing kick to half forward. Good mark taken by Stafford. Hits the ground running. Great tackle by Fexter. Causes the turnover. Nix uses Dunkley. Now back inside defensive 50, Matthews, and they transfer play the Swans effectively to Schwabel.
Schwabel's pushed himself into defence now.
To Saddington. Kick out wide. Kirk has to sit and wait. Just wasn't kicked out in front of Kirk enough. Campbell mops up for the Tigers. Coughlin. Some early touches for him. Schwabel took his eyes off the ball, went for Richardson, missed. Richardson now in trouble. He's over the line.
Yeah, disappointing attack there by Schwabel on Richardson instead of the ball, and the runner's gone straight out to Schwabel and told him, go for the footy. That's your number one priority.
Goods beaten by Hall. It'll be a great matchup. It's the handball though. Creswell just rubbers it along the line. Another boundary throw in.
Good to hear you change back to Schwabel, Michael. Get a phone call from the family, did you?
No, I just caught up with Andrew, and contrary to the nickname we used to call him in the old days, he informed me the correct pronunciation. Thanks for that. Coughlin. Handball, searching for Ziller is effective. High inside attacking 50. Stafford. Dunkley bodied him brilliantly, and Saddington just sees it over. Great one-on-one tussle there. Stafford and Dunkley. Dunkley giving away plenty of centimetres.
Just interesting, this matchup, Richardson and Leo Barry. You can see Barry's much if Now, the idea of that is for him to get his hand on the ball in the air and then run Richo off at ground level. And I think it's a good tactic. If good quality ball gets to Richardson and Richardson's able to outmark Barry, well then that becomes a problem for Paul Roos. But no doubt Goods will be instructed to get back, put pressure on Richardson, and Barry will be instructed to run off him at every opportunity.
Dunkley just takes it out. 10 on handballing. And thumps at 50 metres. Nix with the set and the mark. No, not paid. Needs to tie it up Matthew Nix. He's outnumbered. Does very well in the end. Creswell off the ground. Gasper. Look out, here comes Barry. Oh, he did it brilliantly, did Gasper. Now he's got time to assess his options. Roden, well played by Fix to work to the front. Roden waiting back. Good tackle on him by Kirk. Bounce on the wing.
Gasper's started well, hasn't he?
He has. He's beaten Barry Hall in about 3 or 4 contests that have gone down there.
So down it goes. One by Hall. Kelly almost got his head ripped off. Umpire said play on. Goods. Little toe poke. Oh, Zantac. Jeez. Well, that one missed. Rogers still in play.
Pretty ferocious tackling by Sydney. They're the #1 tackling team in the AFL.
Rogers to the wing, and that's an excellent mark taken by Roden. He's had a great rookie year. It's a half forward. Pass hits Ottens on the chest. Dishes off to Coughlin. Coughlin now into space for Richardson. Can't take the diving mark. Richmond have numbers at the ball. Tivendale on his wrong side, but he does well to get it to Stafford, the former Swan. And he gets the predictable welcome from the Sydney fans as Stafford will line up pretty tight angle. He's about 35 metres out from goal.
Good kick by Tivendale on his non-preferred side, and it didn't take Richmond long to get the big man Stafford up into the forward line. And there you see Creswell coming past, and I think he's lucky that he missed. But Stafford has been very good for the Tigers playing in this forward pocket. Takes the pressure off Richardson and Ottens. He's kicked 24 goals, 8 this season, so he's very accurate around goals.
So Greg Stafford, from about 35 out, drop punt on its way, and the Tigers get the first of the evening. Beautiful kick from Greg Stafford, and well, he's kicked now 25 goals, 8 for the season. That's a great return, Rob.
Well, it is. He's such an accurate kick, and little Roden took a terrific mark and got it off to Ottens. Ottens has moved out towards the half-forward line. Quick share of the ball, and We see Richardson diving on the ball, couldn't get it, but Tivendale very sharp to just put it on the boot, put it in the path of Stafford.
So Tigers on the board. Lead by 5 points. Goods and Stafford. Chance for Kelly, was held. Spells wide Kennelly. Creswell kicks the Swans into attack. O'Loughlin almost. Pressure coming from Fiora. Tied up at half forward for Sydney.
And Sydney made a move after a few minutes. Saddington went from defence forward and Schauble went back, and now they've just reversed it again. So Saddington's been moved into defence and is now playing on Greg Stafford, who kicked that last goal. So a lot of changes happening in the first few minutes.
Hall and Goods. Hall down towards Coughlin. In fact, he takes himself, Ray Hall. Thumps it wide and over. Free kick to the Swans. It's been a pretty entertaining start to this match. Schauble kicks short. Goods running hard.
That's his value as a mobile ruckman. He's just able to cover enormous ground.
Kicks along the line on the lead. Great fist coming. Seymour was the player trying to mark it. Zantuck did brilliantly.
Yeah. Well, he's been terrific for them, Ty Zantuck. He's been able to play full back. At times that releases Gasper to go up and play at centre half back. It just gives Danny Frawley plenty more options in that defensive 50.
Coughlin, some early touches. Bowden just couldn't control it. Fosdyke waiting to come onto the ground. Sydney inside their attacking 50. They've looked impressive moving the ball, but have yet to score a goal. Duncan Kellaway. Rogers. Now again Coughlin. Used the football. Barry did brilliantly. Richardson was waiting for the football. Leo Barry just seized the opportunity.
Yeah, the quickness of Leo Barry, Michael, that's the thing about him. You just come from behind like that. He's a different type of opponent for Richo to contend with. Richo likes playing on the big, slower fellas.
So Chaffee at half back to Coughlin. Plenty of touches for him already early. This is Andrew Kellaway. Play on, says the umpire. So Kellaway goes long, looking for Richardson. Excellent mark in front. Strong hands from Matthew Richardson. He wastes no time. He bangs it long to the talls. Oh, he's got the side almost. In fact, he's been paid. That's a great mark from Ottens. I thought he'd lost it. But that's a wonderful mark from Brad Ottens. Well, that was the way. Get it moving quickly to the two talls.
Yeah.
And Ottens will line up for goal.
I'd love to see it. You see him come from the side, jumps early, gets into the back of Saddington. The only thing that saves it from being a free kick to Saddington is that he held it long enough to be paid a mark. And look at this, all over the top of Saddington, and umpire paid it.
So Brad Ottens, great mark. He's kicked 26 goals, 14 this season. He's also pretty good in front of goals. Shouldn't miss from here. But guess what? He has. So be disappointed with that, Brad Ottens. So it is Richmond 1-1-7, leading Sydney 1 behind. We're going to be going 11.5 minutes in the first quarter.
Williams. A great season for the Swans. Kick the half back. Catley has it. Handball. Short of Crouch. And now he's in trouble. Well played by the Tigers. Duncan Kellaway. Bowden uses the ball. No, he doesn't. Over the head of Richardson. Well, see, under no pressure, Joel Bowden, who normally has got exquisite skills, couldn't find the mark.
Yeah, we don't want Richo to abuse him.
He was there.
No, don't abuse him. It was a poor kick by Bowden, and the Williams handball by Sydney coming down the wing was equally as poor.
Kelly was the one that put in the poor handball. Dunkley fighting with Stafford. Umpire Roaston calls for it. Big crowd at Telstra Stadium for this final match of the season. Stafford, deft touchdown to Zilla. He's wrapped up immediately. So a bounce 35 metres from the Richmond goal. Just the one goal in 13 minutes of play. Goods up very high. Stafford read it better. Dragged down by Fixter. That was brilliant. Got it to Goods. Creswell over the line. So a boundary throw in right half court for the Tigers.
Throw in. Ottens against Goods. Goods got the good old-fashioned shove right in the middle of the back.
He exaggerated it, but why not? If you get a bit of a nudge there, let everybody know.
Ottens wasn't about to argue. Goods. Kick finds Nix on the outer wing here at Telstra Stadium. No one on the mark, so Nix has a bounce and plays on. His target is Hall.
Gee, strong.
He was strong in front of Gasper. Hall wastes no time also. That's a great pass. Hits Seymour on the chest. And Seymour will line up only 25 out. Pretty tight angle, but it's certainly kickable.
Well, the Barry Hall mark was the beauty. That was a tough mark in front, and then a terrific play on and short pass to Brad Seymour on the lead. And Brad Seymour in recent weeks has really given them a contest up forward. He's made his name as a defender, formerly from Wagga, but played most of his career back pocket, back flank, but knows how to lead. And he's playing on Andrew Callaway.
Only kicked 10 career goals and 1 goal this season. Brad Seymour. And am I allowed to say kicked it like a backman?
You can, because he did.
He did. So it's Sydney 2 behinds. Richmond 1-1-7. Just about the halfway mark of this first quarter, been going 14.5 minutes.
Tivendale kicking in particularly well. He's a lovely left foot kick when his confidence is up, and he's gone for them tonight, kicking off at fullback, hit the target both times he's kicked in.
Andrew Callaway thought about giving it off to Bowden. Now kicks instead. Fiora in the hot spot. Made a contest. Goods, who's been prominent early, thumps it back towards centre half forward O'Loughlin and Tawney. Ball to the back. Kelly runs into it. Typical style kicks across the face. See what a goal that would have been. That would have lifted the Swans, but in the end just scraping in for a behind. So dynamic when he gets the football.
Gee, he took that at full pace, didn't he?
So from the kick in, Tigers go short. Rogers takes the mark. He goes straight up the middle. Good kick to Hall. Goods from the side does the spoiling. Fiora's all wrapped up, so he got the ball up pretty much smack bang in the middle.
And the Tigers have Ray Hall doing the ruck work. That puts Stafford up in the goal square, and across half forward for the Tigers you've got Ottens and Richardson. Little Roden in front of the Twin Towers.
Give that one to Hall. Free kick to Callaway for too high. That's Andrew Callaway. Plays on straight away. Puts it out into space. Zilla. Sport nicely by Nix. We have a boundary throw in.
Good effort by Matthew Nix. He didn't take clean possession, but he bashed and crashed it to gain 40 metres for his team. And Stephen Zilla doing a tagging job on Nix, who at the moment is pushing up around the wing position.
Give that one to Shawble. Kirk to Matthews. Back inside 50 for the Swans. O'Loughlin was the spoiler. But again, Richmond able to repel. Callaway to Gasper, who switches to Zantuck. Again, no one on the mark, so Zantuck plays on. Kicks in the direction of Coughlin. Oh, good shepherd off the ball by Chaffee. Fiora, he runs into trouble. Fosdyke.
She's some big hits out there.
To Matthews. That's a good spotter. Here's Creswell. To Williams. He loves these, Paul Williams. He runs to 45 and kicks a poster. 4 behinds the Swans. Richmond 1-1-7. 17 minutes gone first quarter.
Good share by Darren Creswell. Give the handball across there, and you see at full tilt Paul Williams from in front. He'd be disappointed he missed that.
Tigers bringing it up their defence. Well, free kick surely to Shawble. Against Hall. The Swans a chance to go forward again. Some opportunities wasted in the early part for Sydney. Chance to go into attack again. Kirk loose at half forward. That's where he needs to use the ball. O'Loughlin leads for him. The kick in that direction. Brilliantly done. Well, O'Loughlin just lost Tawney on the lead.
Yeah, interesting matchup that, Michael. Jason Tawney playing on Michael O'Loughlin. You would expect perhaps a taller player would play on Michael O'Loughlin. You can see Tawney in picture there, basically a back pocket type. Had a pretty good season, Jason Tawney. Not much he could do there. That was a lovely pass. But if they get plenty of ball to this man with the footy, you would think he'd be too strong in the air for Tawney.
27 goals on the season from 45 metres. The Swans have their first. So Sydney finally registering a goal. 1-4-10, plays 1-1-7.
And a neat little chip kick into the forward 50. They're the marks that are dangerous because the player can go back, take his time, line it up and kick through and get a goal, as we saw there. So any little chip pass into the 50-metre arc, worth its weight in gold.
Sydney in front by 3 points. There's a centre square infringement. Coach's worst nightmare. And it's going to Sydney and Goods. Short to Fosdyke, who's found some space. Stabs it into the pocket. Beautiful kick and fantastic hands from Michael O'Loughlin, who'll line up about 45 metres out. Slightly worse than a 45-degree angle.
Again, Michael, there's probably not a lot that Tawney could do there, but again, we'll have a look at it. It's a nice pass by Fosdyke, and you see the leap of O'Loughlin. He's just a terrific spring, and I would think that Danny Frawley would be thinking about plan B as to who to play on O'Loughlin.
28 goals now he's kicked this season. 28 goals, 11. And O'Loughlin's got his second tonight. So 2 quick goals to Michael O'Loughlin. See Sydney move to 2-4-16. Richmond 1-1-7. Here in round 22 at Stadium Australia, these days known as Telstra Stadium.
Well, it took 18 and a half minutes for their first and about 30 seconds for their second. And playing with a very, very open forward line, the Swans giving O'Loughlin and Barry Hall every possible opportunity.
What we see there is the Sydney goal square. Have a look at it. There's about 6 Sydney players and all of that space between the full forward line and the centre bounce. So if they get a clearance here, which they haven't got, they've just got heaps of space to run into.
Stafford got it down to Campbell brilliantly. Zilla traps it. Handball astray. Crouch. Fosdyke. Loose player on the wing is Kelly. Thought about going. Now kicks to half forward. Shawball at the back hall. Now Bitterscombe on the ground. Oh, Gasper's kick ineffective. Gets a second chance. Slung by Barry Hall. Free kick. Play on advantage. Zanta. Great little sidestep. Kick to half forward. Richardson and also Stafford. Moving it quickly, the Tigers. Otten's on the lead. Now a chance for Roden at ground level. He's exciting. He dribbles it. Or behind.
Gee, maybe he could have been excused for there's Tony Lockett in picture, and he'd be keen to see his mate Kel finish on a high note. I'm just thinking maybe little Roden could have run and carried the ball, had a bounce perhaps, back his pace to get to that goal square. Paul Kelly doing the kicking in, one of the better kicks in this Sydney side.
So Williams to bring it back in, plays onto himself. And now his kick is perfect as he finds Ryan O'Keefe at half-back. Good kick into the middle. Good hard running by Saddington. Here's a big chance for Sydney. Saddington decides to ignore Hall and go to Seymour, who on the second bite takes the mark. So clever play by the Swans, and Brad Seymour will line up. He's missed one shot at goal.
Yeah, and we see a lot of Sydney players marking on the lead coming from the goal square. One of the benefits of getting back in the goal square is that it gives them space to lead into, and we've seen O'Loughlin, Hall and Seymour do it several times this first term.
Jeez,
another pocket boy.
Yes. Zanta looked all out of sorts there, didn't he, going for that contest?
So Seymour has kicked his second behind.
Kicks like a back.
Stop stealing my lines.
He'll be glad. He's only kicked one for the year, has he?
Yeah. 10 in his career.
Tivendale again at fullback. hits Tawney on this occasion. Oh, handball puts Campbell under enormous pressure. They'll get out of it though, the Tigers. Andrew Kellaway to Campbell. Tivendale has run from the defensive goal square. Pumping kick inside, attacking 50. Richardson was paid the free kick for holding. Took the mark in any case, and that's what you're talking about, Rob. Just superior strength there.
Well, it's a good kick, isn't it? It's low and it's flat. It gets there quickly and it makes it very hard for Barry. They've changed their forward structure a little bit, the Tigers. Ottens has gone into the ruck.
Richardson kicked 3 goals 3 last week for the Tigers on the losing side. He's kicked 35 for the season. Comes in. Kicks a goal. So the Tigers back to within 3 points. We've played 24 minutes in this opening quarter.
And just the run and dash of Tivendale was what made it particularly effective. Quick hands across the half back line. Wayne Campbell part of it. Andrew Kellaway. Wayne Campbell the second time. And this fella is the go-to man. He's a lovely long kick. And they're the sort of kicks the forwards love. And just the size and the strength of Richardson stood out.
17 plays 14. Swans in front. Back in the middle. Bowden, one of the leading possession getters in the competition. Gives it to a man we haven't seen a lot of this year in Bitterscombe. Playing just his 3rd game this season. Williams does the mopping up for Sydney. To half forward. Mark's taken by Fosdyke. Fosdyke, not any long options, so he just goes short to Seymour. Seymour working it up the ground, the Swans. His kick finds Bolton. About 55 out from goal. Jude Bolton. Kicks into the corridor. Bolton's too good in front.
Well, he filled the hole, the big man. He got back there to support his defenders and did it really well. He's a smart player, Brad Ottens.
Chips to Andrew Kellaway. Tigers tonight intent on playing on, taking risks. Kick out to Richardson. Oh, it's a strong mark.
Against 2, that is a terrific mark.
Waste no time again. They get it on quickly. Gives Stafford a chance. 1 out. It was held. No free kick. Now a chance for Roden at ground level. Wheels around. Right foot snap. There's a goal. So the Tigers moving the ball very quickly, giving their tall forwards every opportunity, and David Roden at the base of most of the packs in the contest, kicking a goal for the Tigers.
That was a great mark there by Matthew Richardson, up against 2 Swans, and again straight away, quick as you can to Stafford one-on-one, and this would please the Tiger coaching staff. The little fella, that's his job. Get underneath the big boys, clean up the crumbs, kick a goal or 2. And there we have Paul Kelly being tagged in his final game by Duncan Kellaway. Now that's a nightmare because Duncan Kellaway is one of the hardest players to get a kick against that you could ever come up against.
From the ball up. It's right in the centre circle. Now spills free to Crouch. Handballs to Kirk. There's a bit of a box on in the middle. Kirk to Hall. Takes the sliding mark. It was Ottens and Doyle in the middle having a bit of a go. Nothing too serious there. And Barry Hall will line up probably just within his range. He'll be kicking from about 52 metres out.
And you've got contrasting forward attacks. The Tigers kick it long and high to their tall forwards. The Swans, they kick it on the lead. They put it to the leading forwards. Players like Seymour and Hall breaking from the goal square.
Hall's got a behind so far this evening. Off hands and through for a behind. So Richmond 3-2, Sydney 2 goals 6. So 2 points in favour of the Tigers as we near quarter time.
Tivendale to Bowden.
Plenty of left footers in this Richmond team.
Now he's played on. He's got Zante in support. Just wobbles the kick towards half forward into the side. Saddington. Richardson was put down. No free kick.
And again, an example of 2-on-1. Saddington making sure he got across to help Barry on Richardson.
Short to Creswell, back to Saddington. Richmond have formed a wall across half-back. That's why the Swans are forced to chip it around in the midfield. Creswell, kick to half-forward. Mark taken by O'Keefe.
Every Richmond player in their defensive half at the moment.
Too far out to score, you'd suggest. 60 metres. Decides just to pump it long to the goal square. It's a thumping kick! Touched right on the line. Anguish on the face of Ryan O'Keefe. What a great kick.
Well, it was a great kick, but it was a great touch on the line by Brad Ottens. Not only does he kick goals, he saves goals, and you see the big fella there at full stretch. Just gets a fingernail on it and saves his team 5 points.
Clinton King takes the mark. So it's the Tigers by a point. It's near quarter time. King kicks in the direction of Richardson from behind. Got hands on it, couldn't hang on to it. Kelly, and have a throw in. Half forward flank, Swans into attack. Haven't caught up with the result. The big result today, it was Port Adelaide by a goal over the Brisbane Lions. They won the minor premiership and will get to host 2 home finals. Inside Sydney's 50, Rogers. But he got tripped down. I said play on. Bowden to King. Kick not all that great. Ricochets to Kelly. He breaks one tackle, but the siren beats him. So quarter time, it's the Tigers 3 goals to leading Sydney 2-7 by 1 point.
A terrific first quarter. Sydney would be a bit disappointed they kicked inaccurately. They've kicked 7 behinds. They could have been 2 or 3 goals in front. At the same time, the Tigers, they've persisted with their game plan, which is get it in quick and long to the tall fellas up forward. And we've seen Matthew Richardson, 2 or 3 Swans against him several times. But Stafford's kicked a goal, Richardson's kicked a goal, and little Roden crumbed one to perfection. So I think Danny Frawley would be pretty happy with that first quarter start up here at Telstra Stadium.
So quarter time, just repeating the scores. It's the Tigers in front by the narrowest of margins. 3-2, plays 2-7. Score, one other game being played tonight at Colonial Stadium. And the Saints off to a flyer. As we start this second term here at Stadium Australia, and straight away Richmond going to attack. And the mark is being taken by Stephen Ziller directly in front, 35 metres out.
Just a quick clearance, and Joel Bowden able to get the ball quickly forward, and Ziller, strong overhead mark. He doesn't usually play in the forward line, but the ex-Saint hasn't had a lot of senior games this year, coming off the bench and usually doing run with rolls, tagging jobs.
Kicked a couple of goals this season, Stephen Ziller. He won't improve on that with that kick, so just to behind to Stephen Ziller. So it is the Tigers by 2 points in the opening minute of this second quarter. It's Richmond 3-3, Sydney 2-7.
Paul Williams at fullback. What a great season he's had. Will Pole very well in the Brownlow medal. Creswell.
Averaging 22 disposals a game, Paul Williams, this year.
Yeah, he's had a great year. Kicks back to Fixter, and he affects the transfer of play. Saddington at half-back. Swans just trying to work the ball with precision from their defensive half. Kick out wide. Good running from Kennelly. Is it close to the line? Does he take on Ottens? No. Kicks to the lead of O'Loughlin, who marks it, but over the line.
They've taken the ball there to the half-forward flank without the Tigers touching it, with pretty good skill level, and just that last kick let them down. It was a metre over the boundary line.
Fiora, Zantuck, thumps it long towards half-forward. Richardson with the jump. He thumps it over the line. So a boundary throw-in on the wing. Last game for these clubs tonight. And both clubs will be looking to finish the season on a winning note, just to give some impetus into the pre-season. It's Duncan Kellaway who's tagging Paul Kelly tonight as the free kick on the wing. Kick towards half-forward. Saddington in front. Again another sport coming from Richardson. Mills shovels it out towards Bowden. Little toe poke inside attacking 50. Richardson gets there first. Wheels around. Dumps it long to the top of the square. Stafford in good position. Just got Dunkley and put him off balance with his right arm and was able to mark just 25 metres in front.
Full marks to Matthew Richardson, though. It was Richardson who got that ball at ground level, wheeled around and was able to kick it to the dangerous spot. And Dunkley just wasn't able to get a fist on it. The big man stood tall.
Stafford's kicked one. Gee, that's a disappointing effort. And scrapes it in for a behind. So Richmond's turn to be inaccurate. Margin out to 3 points.
So Williams once again doing the kicking in. And gets the footy back. Kicks towards Crouch, and Crouch takes the mark at half-back.
Crouch has been moved on to Tivendale, who had a very good first quarter for the Tigers.
Crouch goes long. That's an excellent kick. He finds Dunkley. Little handball to O'Keefe. To Hall. So when they move the ball quickly, they move it well, Sydney.
Well, they've taken it from the kick in at full back again without the Tigers getting a hand on it. Just good skills. And again, the short pass into the forward 50 is worth its weight in gold, because the young fellow with the footy, O'Keefe, he's able to go back and take his time, line it up, and if he finishes off with a goal, you'd have to say what a terrific passage of play, because the Swans have taken it from full back to through the goals without Richmond getting a hand on it.
Pretty tight angle here for Ryan O'Keefe. It's a thumping kick, as we saw in the first quarter, so no problem with the distance here. And that is another poster. So 2 posters so far to the Sydney Swans. 22 plays 20 in favour of Richmond. 4.5 gone second quarter.
Tivendale doing the kicking in. His opponent, Crouch, is guarding the kick in, and from this point on will run shoulder to shoulder with Tivendale, so he doesn't connect up and get another touch.
Great handball from Tawney. Sets Duncan Callaway away. He tried to do too much. Great tackle from Williams. Tigers end up with it. Fiora on the wing. A little lucky there, Richmond. Kick inside to Stafford. Dunkley missed it. Handball to Barry. Tries to crash through Stafford. Couldn't. But got the handball away to Goods. Just wobbles it to the wing. Williams, what can he do here? Not much. Fiora uses Tivendale, who cleverly kicks around the corner. Mark taken by Andrew Kellaway. Just forward of the wing.
Yeah, the longer he takes with the ball, the more Sydney players get back. Already Richardson was outnumbered 2-1. Now it's about 4-1.
Decides just to kick it long inside, attacking 50. Richardson up in front. Ball to the back. Swans with the numbers. Seymour had more time than he thought. Kirk deep in the back pocket. Oh, now that's a free kick.
Yep, that is deliberate. He deliberately stepped over the line. He was under pressure, good pressure by the Tigers.
Just didn't disguise it well enough, did he?
No, he panicked a little bit and stepped over the line, and that has to be deliberate out of bounds.
So the free kick to Coughlin, deep in the left forward pocket. What a great season Mark Coughlin's had. Runs around, snaps, and kicks a goal. Tigers now 9 points in front, and they've played pretty well in the early part of this second term.
Well, they just really pressured Sydney, and the Sydney players, in the end, it gets here to Kirk, and he just steps back over the line. He retreats, but they were forced backwards 3 or 4 times. And Coughlin really backed himself with his skill there, and that's fair enough to hook the ball around and kick a goal. Well done.
So things are going pretty nicely for the Tigers. Danny Frawley on the phone. They lead by 8 points, 4-4 to 2 goals 8. Nice snap from Mark Coughlin. And they'll have a secondary bounce in the middle. So far for the Tigers, all singles to Coughlin, Roden, Richardson and Stafford, while Michael O'Loughlin has kicked the only 2 goals for the Sydney Swans. Earlier this year in round 7, the Tigers defeated the Swans by 6 points at Colonial Stadium. That's a free kick, an obvious one to Ottens, being held onto. The ruck contest. So it's Richmond only 8 points in front, but playing a bit of football at the moment. Richardson just pushed off his opponent, and he will line up on a 45-degree angle, 45 metres out from goal.
Just a terrific kick by Brad Ottens, the big man, and just have a look at the Richardson. Can we pick him up? He just puts a bit of a shove on Leo Barry, just enough to get him off balance, and then he's able to. Well, the umpire had a great view of it. I watched the umpire and I thought he might have paid it against him. The umpire said no, that's okay. But the two big fellas combined particularly well. And again, Paul Roos would have to be looking at maybe getting a Shawball, a Saddington perhaps onto Richardson.
One goal so far tonight for Richo, and he's missed that badly to the left. So 8 minutes gone in this second quarter. It's the Tigers by 9 points. As once again Paul Williams will bring it back into play.
Well, they've had a lot of success with the kick-ins, and the Richmond zone working particularly hard. I would think that the runner's been out to tell the Richmond players, well, you just can't let the ball come out as easy as it has the last couple of times from these kick-ins.
Williams kicks towards Saddington. He got hands to it. Fiora made a contest, affected the turnover, rode and about, and who drills a pass on the chest of Rogers.
The Richmond zone defence worked, and the reason it worked is that Williams couldn't find a short option. He was forced to kick the ball long. If the zone defence forces the player with the ball at fullback to kick it long, it's been successful. And we saw there, it just meant that it forced a contest, and Richmond are able to recover and send it back. So that's well done by the Richmond side.
Matthew Rogers just inside 50. Thumping kick across the face. Barry and Goods, the Leapers, through for another behind of the Tigers. Margin out to 10 points. And Richmond have played pretty well in the first 10 minutes of this second term.
This time the short option is on, and Barry takes the mark in the back pocket. Drives it long, looking for Doyle. Oh, that's a good mark in front though. And it's Coghlan. Very good overhead. I tell you what, for a 20-year-old, he's a good size, Robert. Doesn't need much work in the gym, does he?
No, he's going to be okay. Just pleased to see Richardson playing the sort of game that he's playing. 10 minutes into this second quarter, and the Swans have taken it into their forward 50. Only on one occasion, Richmond have had it in their forward 50. They've taken it in. This will be the 6th time.
Kellaway, short pass to Hall. He's just come on the ground. Come back on the ground.
And Duncan Kellaway be delighted with that, because the greatest criticism of Duncan Kellaway's game is his kicking, and he was able to chip that little pass there to perfection. And that's one that he'd like in his highlight package at the end of the year.
Ray Hall kicked 6 goals in his 19 games this season. In he comes from about 45 metres out. And it's another poster. First for the night for Richmond, 3rd of the game. So they've got Sydney's first quarter disease, the Tigers. This term so far, they've kicked 1 goal, 5. And the Swans have got just 1 behind.
You can see the Sydney huddle. They've got all of their players in the middle of the ground. Now they're breaking out to a flank. Again, the Tigers have covered them pretty well.
Williams kicks. Kennelly drops a mark he should have taken. Creswell kicks to Matthews. A little lucky the Swans. Kirk bounces the handball. Cranfield runners to the outside. Fixter swans away. 1 bounce. Ball's already led, so he just sets it up. It's all Richmond. Zantuck.
Just a poor kick in the end.
He just waited too long because all the forwards had already moved for him, and there was no one left back there for the Swans. Dangerous kick across the ground from Gaspar. Goods made a contest. Chappie mops up.
Goods playing in the forward line for Sydney now. Doyle doing the ruck work, and Doyle sitting right back about 10 metres in front of Matthew Richardson. So no doubt Paul Roos believes Richardson is the key to the Tigers. He's the match winner for them.
Oldens takes it out, tries to get a handball away. Campbell kept his hands clear. Rogers, Coghlan now deep in the back pocket. Zantuck, where will he go? He's hemmed in against the line. Gives it to Coghlan, to Zantuck. Didn't panic, Well played. Now Fiora in space at half-back. Tigers away. Richardson runs very hard. He's got to beat a couple. Can he take it on the bounce? He can. Brilliant piece of play. Not much to kick to. Wobbles it towards half-foot. Almost Matthews. Now a chance for Hall. Kicks from 30 and misses again.
Free kick coming back.
You know, I watched Richardson when he took that ball out on the half-forward flank. He ran from the opposite wing to the half-forward flank, every bit of 70 metres, and just completely burned off Doyle and Leo Barry. Geez, it was a good run.
And there's the free kick against Doyle. So, chance for Ray Hall, who's got an interesting way of kicking for goal. He goes back about 30 metres, and by the time he kicks, he's pretty much at full speed.
Or near exhaustion.
It's not near exhaustion. You don't see that too often. The man on the mark.
That is a huge run-up,
Is
isn't it?
about 36 or 37 metres, and he is almost back in the centre circle, Ray Hall.
Well, count his steps.
Ray Hall, chance to extend the Richmond lead from 45. Has he got the carry? It has. He's kicked a goal. Awkward kick, but a goal. So Richmond have dominated the second term and extend their lead now to 17 points.
16 steps. He took 16 steps before he kicked that ball. Now, you talk about getting your momentum up and balance and rhythm and all that. I think he takes it to extremes, but it worked pretty well for him there. And the boy from Woy Woy would be pretty happy with that.
So a 16-step goal from Ray Hall puts the Tigers 17 points up as we near the halfway mark of the second term.
Well, it's just been all Richmond in this second quarter, and as you say, we're halfway through it, 15 minutes into this second quarter, and the Swans have only scored one behind.
Here's a chance though for Sydney. Crouch, deep into attack go the Swans. Hall in front, couldn't mark. Good pick up by Lachlan, dispossessed. Halfway ball up in the forward pocket for Sydney as we go down to Neil Cordy.
Yeah, Stephen, things just starting to get a little bit slippery underfoot, and they've brought out the stock boots. Most of the players are wearing Mouldeds, but a few are changing over now.
Ball up, Ottens. Did it well. There's a free kick coming here. It was against Barry for, this is in Barry Hall, not Leo Barry, for a bit of a wrestle. It's roughed up Brad Ottens a little bit. So Ottens has got it in the back pocket. Goes short to Gasper. Richmond here, 17 points up, taken all the emotion out of the game and doing a good job. Around the corner, clever kick by Chaffee.
Well, they're backing their skills too. They're not bombing away. They're just trying to hit targets as they go forward.
And Rogers does just that to Andrew Kellaway. He goes to his brother, Duncan, on the wing. Duncan, that's not the best of kicks as they try to right. And stolen by Paul Kelly. Kelly goes inside the 50, out in front of O'Loughlin. He thought about dishing to O'Keefe, instead went to Hall. Barry's got it onto the left boot. Barry Hall into the forward pocket. O'Keefe should goal. He hits the post again.
Gee, there'll be some posters.
3 posters to Sydney, 2 of those to O'Keefe, and the Tigers have also got one.
Gee, wasn't that exciting out on the full, the kick. Wasn't it exhilarating play for Paul Kelly?
Well,
the turnover.
He took advantage of Duncan Kellaway's poor kick back to his brother and just burst through the half-forward flank area.
Matthew Nix just asking security.
Well, he's certainly within goal-kicking distance, Nix. 28 goals for the year.
He was in the first row, hard up against the fence. Telstra Stadium. Lead provided by Creswell, ignored. Need to be a great kick from here. Kicks to the goal square. Ottens going back. Still in play. Kirk ties it up and did pretty well because the Tigers outnumbered the Swans on the goal line. O'Loughlin, Kirk the only 2 players there. Swans need a goal. They're down by 16 points. 17 minutes into this second term, and it's been all Richmond in this term. Hall and Ottens. Campbell thumps it through, but there's a free kick in the meantime. Here come to Ottens against Hall.
That's a couple that Barry Hall's given, and he just needs to settle down a little bit there.
Gaspar still inside defensive 50. Richmond have had all the answers today. And Gaspar wants it going. He kicks to defensive goal square. Ottens chips Andrew Kellaway. Loose player is Rogers. So the Tigers work it out in their defensive zone. Pretty coolly. Great kick from Rogers. Richardson on the chest. Zantuck close to the line. Will he get the Hall? No. Numbers now with the Swans. Doyle, Creswell, Saddington. Barry needs to be clean. He is. Creswell. Back to the wing. Richardson.
Richardson wastes no time, gets it to Chaffee. Chaffee puts it back to the 50. Bowden in front. Spoiler is fixed up. Here's a chance for Roden into the goal square. Oh, he's looking for Stafford. He got rid of Saddington, nice and proper. And the Swans, are they out of jail? Bolton's under pressure. So is Barry. Just works it out of the pack. Campbell back to Roden. Umpire said it was a throw. And it's a free kick to the Swans in defence. And Robert, you talk about free kicks. Barry Hall has given, so far today, Barry's given 3 free kicks away for the season. 7 frees for and 23 against.
Yeah, it's something that he has to get out of his game, because it's no good giving away 2 or 3 free kicks each game that he plays. It just hurts his side too much.
Creswell the goods. Oh, Hall didn't get the pass and he's furious about it. But Sydney still might get a goal. McPherson on the right boot. Has at last drawn one for Sydney. So it's been a while for the Swans, but they finally got their third. They're 3-9 playing Richmond 5-7.
Yeah, and McPherson was the one man down there. 2 Tigers flew for that ball. McPherson was at ground level. He was able to take full advantage of it. Almost hit the post, and they've had plenty of those. But keeps the game well and truly alive, that goal to Sydney.
Swans within 10 points. The last goal was the 19-minute mark of the first quarter. Doyle in the rut. Gets it out wide to the advantage of Fosdyke. Creswell, who ran hard from the centre circle to provide support. Kick is called, redirected. Andrew Kellaway. It's a call from his brother, Duncan. The tagging role on Paul Kelly's done a pretty good job. Kick towards half forward, fixed it with the sit. Well, Roden somehow ended up with it. It was tackled high. No free kick. Fosdyke, clever little kick. Fixter. Oh, that's a poor kick. Andrew Kellaway is
Another
given
free kick against Barry.
That's 4. Now, advantage call. A little lucky there, the Tigers. Tivendale, a spectacular mark at half forward. Gets on with it quickly, drills the pass into Ray Hall.
Gee, it's a lovely kick, and that's what Tivendale can do. He's lethal on that left foot.
Ray Hall, as you can see, tucked hard in the line now. We won't be able to take his 16 steps here, Rob, because he'll end up in the second row.
New opponent for Matthew Richardson, Saddington. Richardson's taken 6 marks already in this game, heading for a 15-16 mark game. The move had to be made, and Saddington now has the job.
And he comes. Drop punt. Looks pretty good. He's kicked it. So the Tigers get the quick reply, and the margin back out to 16 points. And Ray Hall proving a very good option up forward for the Tigers.
Well, he is a good option, but isn't that a good mark by Greg Tivendale? And he gets back, swings on his favoured left foot. Have a look at this pass. It is bullet-like. Impossible for Barry to stop that, and Barry's having a bit of a nightmare. First of all, he had Richardson, now Hall.
Andrew Kellaway with a problem with the wrist. He's the leading possession getter for the Tigers. He's got 13 disposals and 9 marks. So he's having a great game, but he's in a spot of bother at the moment. We'll keep an eye on it as Sydney work the ball forward. Kirk bowled over. will have a ball up. Swans centre half forward positions. The Tigers in front by 16 points. Leading possession getters for Richmond, 13 to Kellaway, 11 each to Zantuck, Copland and Rogers, and 10 to Gasper, while for Sydney 15 to Creswell and 12 to Goods. Sydney, another inside 50 here. It's O'Loughlin on the left boot. He goes long. Hall in the goal square. Hall marks. Hall goals. First goal of the evening to Barry Hall. And it's back to 10 points the difference, with a couple of quick ones to the Sydney Swans.
And Michael O'Loughlin, a full head of steam coming past that ruck contest, received the handball on his left foot, long to the goal square, and just the bulk. And he was on the right side of Darren Gasper to take that mark and kick the easy goal. I reckon he needed it, Michael, just to settle himself down a little bit. Big bad Barry.
First goal to Barry Hall. And great play out of the centre there by Brett Kirk, who really attacked the football and forced it forward for the Swans. Doyle again, this time Campbell. Goods and Zilla. King, quick handball, Bowden. Andrew Kellaway finally gets possession, number 14. Fiora now back to Campbell. Kicks it high in the pocket. Chance for Richardson. Goods got up high in front. Knocks it over the line. So margin 10 points. The Halls have had a good quarter. 3 between Ray and Barry. Doyle was hurled and will not get a free kick. It's against Doyle. Well, he's bewildered as much as I am. Now, you can clearly see here, Stafford's got hold of the jumper. He's lifted it up.
He's saying that Doyle had hold of Stafford's jumper. Stafford was doing the pushing. Gee, pretty tough call that.
Very ordinary with the words or something like that from Andrew Dunkley to the umpire.
Well, when it's 50-50 like that, I mean, that's just let it go. Well, Greg Stafford, an opportunity. He's kicked one from inside 50 to the boos of the Sydney fans. He misses. 1 goal, 2 to Greg Stafford. Let's have a look at it again.
Just see if Doyle has got a handful of jumper. See his hand coming in.
He had a bit of jumper there.
He's just touched the jumper there. He's grabbed a bit of jumper there. And the umpires will pay a free kick against that. Technically it's right, but gee, it's pretty soft.
From the kick in and just hanging onto the mark is Nick Fosdyke for Sydney.
A free kick for having a handful of jumper and no free kick for hits on the head.
Barry shows a lot of dash. Has 2 bounces. Takes it into the middle. Now goes long. It's Hall taking the mark. That's 60 out from goal. Hall now kicks it to the running O'Loughlin. Can't take the mark from behind. Another chance for McPherson to steal a goal. He wobbles it. But it's offline and one behind. So it's the Tigers 6-8-44. Sydney 4-10-34. Richmond by 10 points. 26 minutes almost gone in this second term.
Wayne Campbell coming up for his 10th disposal. Played most of the second half of the season on a half-back flank.
Short to Bitterscombe. Just playing his 3rd game of the season. Craig Bitterscombe, former Cat. Switches play. Rogers.
Just watching Richardson up at centre half forward. Every time they have a switch of play, he's got to run 60 metres from one side of half forward flank to the other.
Bowden and half back.
Now he's come back. He's done 120 metres, Richardson.
And he's going to be the likely target here. No, Bowden elects to go short. Back to Rogers.
Now he's gone again. They're going to go to him.
Campbell. High to Richardson. 1 out in front. Well played, Saddington. Roden. Brilliant piece of roving from 45. Great chase from Fixter. Now a chance for Hall. Great tackle coming from Shawbull. And the Swans work it out towards the line. Andrew Kellaway, can he keep it in? No, he can't.
Just been some good passages of play by David Roden. I like the way that he's got to... he knows that the emphasis is on Matthew Richardson and Stafford, the tall fellas, and the Swans will desperately try to hit the ball to the ground. Strong spoils, and he knows if he gets to that front spot, he'll be rewarded. So plenty of incentive to run hard.
Free kick Again going to the Tigers for a push. Andrew Kellaway. Possession number 15. Kicks towards the top of the square. Goods going back courageously. Swans in number there. Saddington. Ball puts Bolton under enormous pressure. He flicked it. Creswell got away with it. Now a chance for Fosdyke. It's open in front of Fosdyke. Kick towards Hall. And Doyle. This is everything. Boundary throwing.
And Michael O'Loughlin back towards full forward, arms out, appealing and saying, don't kick it to the boundary line, kick it to the centre corridor.
So as we near half-time, chance here for the Swans. Doyle in front. Creswell has been busy. Shawble back to Creswell. Creswell from the pocket, kicks a magnificent goal. Creswell. That's a great snap from the pocket. And Sydney narrow the margin to 4 points.
I'll have a look at the ruck work. Big Doyle there, but Creswell gets it, gets the quick handball to Shawble, receives it back from him. He always backs himself near goals, Darren Creswell. He loves a goal, and he did that particularly well. And the veteran, he's running hot. 6 disposals in the last 10 minutes.
18 for the game and 5 marks.
Goal number 17 on the season. So the Swans have hung in there. Tigers getting out at 1 point to a 17-point advantage. Duncan Kellaway's kick smothered by Bolton. Now a chance for Crouch out of the centre. He can run to 30 and kick a goal, Jared Crouch. Runs to 50 to Doyle. Can't take the mark. Chance at ground level. Bowden. Oh, it's taken high. Half-time, tempers get a little out of control.
We saw that centre break with Jared Crouch, and the reason he was able to run and carry the ball was because Sydney had most of their forwards back in the goal square. It's getting pretty willing at the moment.
A couple of fines coming up for Brad Seymour and Jason Tawney.
I think that really shook Joel Bowden up.
Now the umpire's called play on.
And that's not a bad call. Actually, one called play on, the other said bring it back.
Well,
I was going to say it's a good call because it just breaks it up, doesn't it? Let's have a look at it here.
Yeah, he hit the head down, didn't he? And Doyle's a big man.
Yeah, there was no real nastiness in it. He's got to put the tackle on.
So watch just the aftermath.
So I think he's being reported here. I'm not sure it is or not.
Yeah, the book came out.
The book came out.
That'd be a good one. Creswell and Zanto. That'll be a real good one.
Bowden kicks short to Bitterscombe. And Jared Crouch, he kicked from about 52 metres. He had about 30 metres clear in front of him. He could have run to 30. And an opportunity missed there by the Swans. Stafford stands tall. Wood's got a fist on it. Fiora, that's a great tackle.
Super tackle.
Held him up. By Paul Williams.
Sort of what the umpire reported him for, Robert, because really when you look at the replay, I mean, it must be unduly rough play. It certainly wasn't a strike or anything like that.
It was a free kick. It was more like a round arm around the neck. It wasn't a forearm or an elbow.
In rugby league you get 6 to 8 for that, but not in AFL. As the siren sounds to end half-time, and a bit of heat late in the second term, and there's less than a kick in it in the farewell game from Paul Kelly and Andrew Dunkley. It's Richmond 6-8-44 leading Sydney 5-10-40.
Just a terrific quarter of football again. Not great skills, but the contest is there, the tackling's there, and gee, just looking at Greg Stafford going down to big bad Barry Hall and Zantuck having plenty to say. I think they're better just to go to the race and cool off for 15 minutes at half-time and let the coaches have a chat to them. Tigers won the quarter by just a few points. I think Danny Frawley again will be pretty happy with what he's seen as we go into half-time.
I don't think you would have believed that at the start of the game, Paul Kelly.
It's a bit unfair, isn't it? That the Tigers again...
Once again being picked up by...
Andy's shadow, Duncan Kellaway.
Duncan Kellaway, yeah.
Yeah, and
I don't think you would have believed that at the start of the game, Paul Kelly.
It's a bit unfair, isn't it? But the Tigers again, they've got the big forward line. It's Ottens who'll do the ruck work. Up forward, they've got Ray Hall.
And Otten's got the tap. Whistle on play. And the umpire's... Oh. Bit of a slap there to the midriff of Crizzle. Nothing much in that.
And it worked well for Richmond in that second quarter with Ray Hall kicking 2 goals and Ottens doing a fine job in the ruck.
So once again, it's Ottens getting first hand to it. And now he gets the hard ball. As he gets it to Bowden. Kicks an up and under. And Goods is underneath it. Is it 15 metres? Umpire said yes. So Goods in the middle. Telstra Stadium. Dishes to Williams to the 50. Shawble. Creswell. Here's a chance now for Fosdyke. He has a shot at goal, but getting back. Last line of defence for the Tigers is Jason Tawney.
Creswell's 19 disposals, the most of any player on the ground this evening.
Rogers did the job on Paul Williams tonight. He's done a pretty good job. Williams with just 7 possessions. Kicks it out wide. Target is Ottens. Goods just carried him underneath the football. But Ottens does very well at ground level. Bowden kept his hands free. Was able to get the handball away. Zantuck under pressure. Good tackle coming from Seymour. And in the end, Ottens just walks it over. And I suspect if that had been in the Sydney forward pocket, it may have been a penalty against Ottens, as we saw with Brett Kirk earlier in the match. Ottens just reaches over the top. Campbell, Zantuck.
Dominated the 3 or 4 ruck contests he's been in this quarter, Brad Ottens.
Bowden running. He used the ball. Gee, that's a poor kick. Williams missed the mark he should have taken. Well, a couple of fumbles. One by Fixter. Bolton mops up, kicks straight into the back of his teammate Fosdyke. Comedy of errors. Duncan Kellaway. Zantuck. Time to steady and deliver. Chipping in front. Barry. He's moved off Richardson in that second term. Now playing on Hall. Kick to Fosdyke. Boundary throw in.
Swans have moved Shawble to the half-forward line. Joel Bowden, his opponent, which is a surprise. You'd think Bowden would be in the midfield mix. Also Lachlan at half-forward.
Campbell and McPherson contest that one. As Sydney win the ball. Kelly, chain of handballs. Now trouble. Can Richmond win it back? They can't, but they can certainly lock it up. So we have a ball up in their half-forward line.
Good pressure there by Wayne Campbell too. Campbell's been moved into the midfield. He played the first half as a defender, and you just see that the pressure Campbell put on there locked the ball in. Good hit, good bump.
Ottens once again against Goods. Goods got a hand on it, but it was ineffective. Ottens on hands and knees. Now it's slapped out towards the boundary line by Bolton. Bit of tunnel ball by Roden. And once again we have a throw in. So not much happening at the moment to start this third quarter. It's still the Tigers in front by 4 points. And we've been going 3 and a bit minutes.
Goods works to the front and earns a free kick.
He came from behind Ottens in that ruck contest, surprised Ottens, and then Ottens gave him a bit of a shove.
Kick towards the lead of O'Loughlin. Through his hands, all Richmond at the back of the pack. Tivendale. He's away. Loose player at half forward. The kick just got there. Zilla. Oh, his handball was poor. Had to be precise to Bowden. Roden ran down the Williams handball. Goods runs down the Hall handball. Zilla going back in. Roden, Hall. High towards full forward. Stafford. Oh. What a great mark against his old teammate. And a chance to extend the Richmond lead.
Yeah, and after, have a look at this, he's just got the size and the bulk. His left arm, he pushes Dunkley away, juggles it 3 or 4 times with the right.
Gee, that's a strong mark, skillful and strong.
Ray Hall did well to centre that ball to that dangerous spot.
Stafford's kick 1-2, comes in and kicks his second. Tigers in front by 10 points. So first blood in this second half to Richmond, and their tall players up forward have really given their midfield something to kick to, and when the midfield have been able to get the ball in quickly, they've looked very dangerous.
Well, their Tools have kicked 5 of their 7 goals. Good effort there by Ray Hall on the left boot to put it to the dangerous spot there, and plenty of crummers underneath Stafford in case he dropped it. And I thought that even if he hadn't have marked it, would probably been a Tiger goal.
Second goal to Stafford. It's the Tigers by 10 points. 2-2 so far to Stafford. Sydney going to attack through McPherson. Wobbles a talk, and that's a great mark by Barry Hall. They are not easy to mark. He made it look easy.
He looks strong with his hands. When he gets his hands on the football, he really looks strong and very difficult man to spoil.
And a difficult ball to mark, a spiral torpedo. And just had him, once he got that front spot hard for Darren Gaspar, he's just so much bigger and stronger.
1 goal, 2 so far to Barry Hall tonight. He's had 7 disposals, 7 marks, and given away 4 free kicks. But he's kicked his second, and it's back to 4 points. So 7-8 plays, 6-10. Tigers in front, only just early in this third term.
The value of the quick clearance from the centre, McPherson, as soon as he got it, banged it on the boot. Got his 50 metres with that spiral torpedo, and you can see the number of Sydney players. They get back in the goal square so that they can move forward on the lead, anything that breaks from the centre.
So the quick reply by the Sydney Swans.
Wouldn't want to sit behind that fella.
Goods thumps it forward. The only player there, Bowden, who just pumps it inside, attacking 50. Richardson couldn't take the mark. Fights hard at ground level. Chaffee handballs in the direction of Duncan Kellaway. To Campbell, who tries to crash his way through. He can't. Great tackle on Fosdyke. They're under pressure. Barry, Fosdyke. Oh, great handball. Threaded it to Williams. And he finds Creswell just backward of the wing. O'Loughlin provides a target. Marks in front of his face. Thought about giving it back to Creswell. McPherson is loose, and so is Nix. Nix can run.
Long option, Shawball.
Kicks towards Shawball. Now a chance for Fosdyke. Just hoists it high. Crouch almost. Play on's the call. Numbers with the Tigers, and Ottens mops up and gets it out to Rogers. The Tigers away.
Rogers back into the middle. It's Chaffee to Tivendale.
See, a good kick.
It was a beauty to Hall, but bounced off his chest. Now Goods. He's got Fosdyke on over the top. He does it well. Look at this. Got a loose man at half forward. It's Shawball. Shawball can take the mark and play on to Creswell. Instead he goes to McPherson. McPherson from 48. Pumps it long, but it's offline. And they're behind. 1 goal, 2 to Daniel McPherson. And it's 3 points of difference in favour of the Tigers.
Strong hit by Kellaway on McPherson just as he kicked it.
Bowden gets it to Zantuck, who's called to play on. It's a handball back to Gaspar. He gets to Rogers at half back. Tigers methodically working the ball out of their defensive zone. Campbell, not 15, so called to play on. Now Bowden a chance. Runs towards centre. Thumping kick inside, attacking 50. Dunkley was pushed. No free kick. Fosdyke at the full. Good handball to Williams. Now he's away. He can run, Paul Williams. The third bounce. Takes on Coghlan and beats him. Kicks on the lead. O'Loughlin up. Over the head of both he and Tawney. Going back, Tawney. Andrew Kellaway and Gaspar. They work it out pretty well, Richmond. They had the numbers. A dubious bounce coming from Gaspar, and he threw at the ball. Free kick to Hall.
He just got nailed.
Yeah, and he had prior opportunity. That's why the umpire was quick to blow the whistle. Darren Gaspar had a couple of opportunities to dish off the handball.
Well,
and
he took on a task having the bounce, didn't he? That was his problem.
Yeah,
and he looked straight into Barry Hall, something that you don't ordinarily want to do. And he got hammered. So a big kick for Barry Hall to put the Swans back in front. They haven't been in front since midway through the first quarter. Thumping kick from 50. Has it got the carry? It has! kick three. So the Swans back in front. And they've played some pretty impressive football just in the last 4 or 5 minutes.
Well, they've been able to get it off their half-back line, and whenever Richmond get it up there, they rebound it pretty well. And Darren Gaspar just got a little bit lost here. And it'd be disappointing for Gaspar, because when you give away a goal like that to your opponent, you know, he doesn't really beat you. You beat yourself. You'd be a bit disappointed. All 2 goals in 2 minutes.
So Paul Roos would like what he's seeing at the moment. Sydney, they've kicked 2 goals to 1 in this third term, and they've got the lead back. 53 plays 50 as the Tigers go into attack. That was clever. I don't know if it was meant or not, but it certainly came off. Matthews to Williams.
Williams the go-to man across that half-back line for Sydney because of his pace and kicking ability.
Crouch in the direction of Shawwell. Big bad Barry's lurking behind. Dishes off to Seymour. Surely can't miss this one. It doesn't. Seymour's threaded one through. That's his second for the season. And they're on a bit of a roll here, the Swans. 8-11-59 to 7-8-50.
And again, they get the ball into their forward line pretty quickly. Unselfish play by Barry Hall to dish off there to Seymour.
And Paul Williams, 6 possessions in the opening 10 minutes of this third term. He had 6 in the first half, so he's really making a difference.
And getting most of them across the half-back line where they give it to him at every opportunity.
So the Swans by 9 points. Goods try to get it to McPherson. Accepted by Tivendale in the secondary bounce. Swans are an exciting team in full flight, and they're displaying that in this third term.
Sydney got the numbers back in the goal square. They've got about 4 players there, so they can break forward into space.
McPherson, Seymour.
Misses it, they'll have a player on the
Kelly.
lead.
That player is Barry Hall. And Barry Hall, who kicked the goal just a few moments ago from a very similar position. He just kicked the 1 goal in the first half, that coming in the second term. This is a chance for his 4th, 3rd in this third term from 50. Sensational kick. Has it got the carry? No. Behind only. So 3 goals, 3 total to Barry Hall tonight.
It's the Swans by 10. Paul Williams, as we said, was quiet by his standards in the first half, but he's lifted a couple of notches in this third quarter. The Zottons marks the kick in. Richardson provides the lead. That's a mark. So Matthew Richardson so far tonight has had 8 possessions, 7 marks, and kicked 1 goal, 1. A lot of his work around about this area of the ground. Into half forward. Tigers into attack. Hall on the goal square takes the mark. So quick kick. And Ray Hall, he did a bit of damage in the second quarter, kicking 2 goals, 1. He's on his correct side, which is left. Here's an opportunity for his third.
He did pretty well at that ruck contest. He just bolted back to the goal square, and he just lost his opponent. It was Dunkley, not Seymour, and just slipped him. He took a punt, and it worked.
So Ray Hall has kicked 2 goals, 1. He's only 8 or 9 metres out from the goal. Tight angle, but he's on his correct side, his left. And he has put it through. So Ray Hall has got 3. Barry Hall's got 3 for Sydney. And it's back to just 4 points of difference. The Swans in front. There was the Coghlan kick.
Yep.
And Hall took the diving mark and didn't deviate from his path, just plenty of confidence and put it right through.
Swans by 4 points. Ray Hall has 3 for the Tigers. Barry, 3 for the Swans. Kelly fighting hard in the centre circle.
Tigers got Stafford doing the ruck work. Ottens has dropped back to the goal square. Tall forward line for Richmond. Richardson at centre half forward. Ottens and Hall in the goal square.
Stafford, great tackle from Kelly, but he keeps his arms free and gets it to Kellaway. Duncan. Big step. Eyes only for the football. Good relieving mark. Swans players fan. Saddington out wide. Forced to kick to a contest. O'Loughlin provided a strong lead. Kick just falling short, so a boundary throw in between wing and half forward for the Swans. Been a very entertaining game of football. Of course, the final game for two Swans legends, Andrew Dunkley and Paul Kelly. Coughlin and Seymour, that was hard. Seymour's hurt. Stafford marks at half-back. He's up Seymour. You felt that. That was bone-crunching. Kick towards Richardson, who works off Saddington. Couldn't quite hold the clever mark, but he'll get a free kick. We waste no time. On the lead, Ottens. Van Ottens' mark. 35 metres from goal.
Yeah, and Richardson terrific again. Got the mark, got the free kick, and straight away played on immediately to the advantage of his big mate Brad Ottens. And Andrew Dunkley, his final game, it's been a tough one for him. He's been on quality opponents. And look at the big man, he's at full stretch there. Just got that 3 or 4 yards in front of Dunkley, and then the good kick from Richardson made it hard for him. Good hit there. Coughlin on Seymour.
26 goals for the year. Brad Ottens hasn't kicked a goal tonight. This to put the Tigers in front, and he squeezes it through for a goal or a point. No point. Gee, I thought it might have just snuck in, but it didn't. So, second behind of the evening to Brad Ottens.
Williams played on, almost lost it. Got away with it. And in the end, it worked out very nicely as he found McPherson. Quick transfer of play again from the Swans from the kick-in. Crouch at half forward, swings onto the right, squares it up. His target, Shawball or Saddington. Shawball from the side takes the mark. So Andrew Shawball, that's a great mark.
Was a good mark, big pack, and Stafford in the middle of it. He came over the top. Just might be a bit too far out for him to kick this. He'll be looking to dish it off. You can see he's got that leap from behind.
He dishes off to McPherson. The big wind up. It's pretty close, but not close enough. As right on the goal line for the Tigers is Stafford against his former team. And he finds Bowden.
Clever kick around the body. Mark taken by Chaffee at half-back. That's what confronts him. Just chips. Cameron, a long lace undone on his left boot, so this could be comical. Kicks with the right boot, that's sensible. Richardson up. Gee, he almost gave away a free kick. Saddington, Creswell. A lot of the football tonight. Matthews, Shawball, Nix. Great cooperative play by the Swans. Crouch. Fosdyke running through centre half forward, drills the pass to Hall. Gee, they worked that out superbly, the Swans. Chain of handballs, and the kick was perfect. Barry Hall a chance to kick his fourth.
Yeah, it was a good kick by Fosdyke. They had a chain of balls, Sydney, as they took it down the wing. Then that little transference across to the middle of the ground. And Fosdyke, there was only one Sydney player in their forward 50, and he had the composure to just chip it to Big Barry.
Hall kicks and goals. 4 for Hall. So the Swans now extend their break to 9 points, and Barry Hall has kicked 3 goals in this third quarter.
Yes, it's been a terrific quarter by Barry Hall, and Crouch there with the quick hands gets it across to Fosdyke. 2 Adelaide boys, in fact, and then the spearing pass to Barry Hall. Not much Darren Gasper could do about that. Nevertheless, 3 goals in the last 12 or 15 minutes to Barry Hall.
Well, he's had a couple of good weeks, Barry Hall, since he's come back from suspension. 7 last week. He's got 4 tonight. And we've still got a quarter and a bit to go. It's the Swans in front by 9 points. Oh, well on by Stafford. The centre clearance. Creswell, another touch for him. That's number 23.
Oh.
No free kick. Soccer off the ground. Sydney back into attack. Barry Hall attacks it. Can he pick it up? Great hands by Barry Hall. Looking for some support. That's fantastic play by Barry Hall.
Oh, that was just super,
It was
Stephen.
like the parting of the Red Sea. No one wanted to go near him.
They all got out of the way. It was just sensational. He hit that ball at top pace, able to get it at ankle level, and again took it forward. No one came at him, and then he was able to spear the pass to Big Doyle, and Doyle's taken over in the ruck. Adam Goods on the bench at the moment, and I think Paul Roos is thinking fourth quarter, give Goods a spell and get this big fella on, give him a crack at it for the last 10 or 15 minutes of the third term.
So Stephen Doyle, can he finish off Barry Hall's good work? He's kicked 8 goals this season. Awkward kicking style, but it's good enough. Swans get another one. So a bit of breathing space here at Telstra Stadium. We've gone almost 21 minutes in the third quarter. It's Sydney 72 playing Richmond 57. The margin 15 points.
Good quick kick by Creswell. Clever tap on by Shawwell. Creswell's had 23 disposals, the most of any player. And here we see Barry Hall do some terrific mobility work for a big man, and Doyle finishes off with the goal.
5 goals to 2 in this third term in favour of the Swans, and they lead comfortably. King, who's been quiet, just scrambles it towards half-forward. Matthews, who's been inventive and innovative all night. Now a chance for Williams. Oh, he's under pressure. Fixter needs to be clean with the hands. Nix, well played, Dunkley. And now Williams away again. Spins around Mills, delivers out wide. McPherson. Seymour, fist from Cameron. Driving on the football, Kirk now needs to be careful. He wants to be penalised. No. The bounce. Swans by 15 points. It's their biggest lead of the match. Midway through the second term, Tigers led by 17 points. Free kick, Richmond. Campbell. Coming up for possession number 17.
Swans flooding numbers back.
Leading possession winner for the Tigers. Big pack, fist from Nix. Coughlin stood his ground but fixed a barge through. And the boundary throw-in. Great vocal support for Sydney. And the Swans hierarchy would be delighted with the crowd here tonight.
Fosdyke getting plenty of ball, playing in the middle.
Ottens, Kirk, who's done some very impressive things tonight. Scrambles a kick towards half-forward. Here comes Hall again. This time the bouncer eludes him. Chaffey, devoid of options. Dangerously kicks it across the ground. O'Loughlin almost. Now a chance for Fosdyke. He's got a loose player in the goal square. O'Loughlin. Handball to Doyle. It's Kennelly. And Kennelly kicks another one. Swans on fire at Telstra Stadium. The biggest lead of the match. The Swans by 21 points. And great pressure on Chappie, who was forced to kick it across the ground. And in the end, the Swans were able to turn it over.
And again, good play by Fosdyke, who got the quick handball to O'Loughlin. O'Loughlin to Kennelly in the goal square. But you're right, Michael. Mark Chappie was just pressured into error by the Sydney forwards. And Danny Frawley, anxious moments now. Another quick goal or two to Sydney, and you start to think that it could be getting towards the end. Need to get a couple of quick clearances, the Tigers, and the big fellas up forward take a mark or two, just settle things down.
Yeah, they desperately need the next goal just to stem the tide here. Here's a chance. Bowden into the pocket.
Just a sloppy kick in the end. It just didn't give Hall a chance. And Bowden on his preferred side should have done better than that.
So a throw in about 35 metres out from the Tigers' goal. Stafford in the ruck against Doyle. Stafford got first hand onto it, to Campbell, to King. That's Mills. Now can Chaffee pick it up? Great play by Saddington, created the contest, got it to Crouch. Here they come again, the Swans through Fosdyke. Just a little bit too much on the kick for Kelly. Gasper.
Shoot.
Great tackles by the Swans. Barry's got it back again to Seymour. This could be another one. Great play, Sydney. Barry Hall, is he having a quarter?
Well, Barry Hall, he put the tackle on Darren Gasper. He grabbed the jumper and just slammed him into the turf. He was then quick enough. We'll have a look at it. He gets the jumper, slams him into the ground, and then is able to get up and pick the footy up, get the handball across to Seymour. And twice this quarter, Seymour's run into the open goal. But I reckon Barry Hall's been responsible. He's kicked himself 3 goals in this third term and given away 2 others.
Yeah, it's been a great quarter, and that was a great tackle by Kelly also.
Barry Hall, what a contribution he's made tonight. He's been absolutely sensational, as he was last week in the Sydney Swans demolition job on Melbourne. Tigers working out of the centre. Chaffee. Kirk. She's been good tonight, Kirk. Matthews, switch play. Kennelly has come alive in the last few minutes. Looping handball. Nix, look at the run provided by Matthews. Doyle. He's got runners outside. Fixter. Fosdyke, look out, Fiora. He's got him. Is he penalised? No. O'Loughlin. Taken down in the tackle, and he is penalised. Well, Fosdyke a little unlucky because Fiora came straight off the interchange bench and just had no...
On the blind side of him.
Yeah, had no awareness at all. Kick across the ground to Andrew Kellaway.
7 goal to 2 quarter this in favour of Sydney. And Richmond under real pressure at the moment. Desperately need to get a goal. Here's Richo.
The Kellaway boys wax again, and that's a terrific mark by Richardson.
He'll get it on quick to one of his big mates. Good play by Barry to sneak over the mark. Just force Richardson back.
Richardson pumps it long. The Talls are waiting. Stafford, fall of the ball. King can't get there. Sloppy tackle. Free kick to Matthews. Short. As the Swans once again from defence work it out.
Gee, they've run through half-back with quick handball and short passing. They've mucked it up there, but they've done it so well in this third term.
Yeah, Kennelly's coughed it up to Richardson, to Roden. Roden from 48, drives it long, great kick. That's the one the Tigers needed. They're not done with yet. Roden gets his second, and the mistake from Kennelly proved costly in the end. Sydney 12-12, Richmond 9-9.
And Richardson backs himself. That's good play. You know, the handball, a few years back, Richo probably would have blazed away too far out, but just takes the ball 10-15 metres closer. Good to see the little fella who's just come on get his second goal.
What a great year he's had. Played all 22 games, and is going to be a real star of the future for Richmond. Doyle tries to get it down. Fighting hard at ground level, McPherson.
Well, we're late into this third quarter. The Tigers, if they can get another goal, they certainly keep the game alive. Just need another one before 3/4 time.
Ottens. Shark by Bolton. Kennelly. Dragged down in the tackle by Coghlan. O'Keefe, little toe poke. Zilla. Coghlan. Kick towards half-forward. Nick's the only player there.
Yeah, Nick's playing as a spare man in defence. I think Paul Roos has decided that the lead in this quarter is good enough, so he'll get Nick's back there just to block the Richmond side.
McPherson. Hall, this time through his hands. Chance for O'Loughlin. Handball back towards McPherson. Great tackle from Tawney. O'Loughlin. Seymour searching handball for O'Keefe. He's under extreme pressure. Just tossed over the boundary line by Zantuck as the 3/4 time siren sounds. And what was a great quarter by Sydney. 12-12 plays 9-9, and they played some exciting running, creative football in that third term.
Well, off their half-back line it all started, and then of course they had Barry Hall as the target up forward. Seymour ably assisted him. Seymour only kicked 1 goal this year. Well, he kicked 2 in that third quarter, and Barry Hall was absolutely red hot. And Danny Frawley, they got that last goal, which has given them some hope. And Danny Frawley out to his men very quickly for this three-quarter time break. It'll depend on the big fellas up forward, but they need to win the ball from the centre clearances and the boundary throw-ins on the wing and give Richardson, Ottens and Hall every opportunity.
There's Andrew Dunkley as we go down to Neil Cordy.
Yeah, speaking about fresh legs, the Swans finished up the third quarter with Creswell, Williams, Kelly and Goods all having a quick rest at the end, so they should be ready to go for the last.
And we are ready to go for the last as Paul Kelly gets the first possession and hits Barry Hall on the chest.
Just a perfect bit of football, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The quick break. Kelly had his spell, burst through the centre and on his left foot able to hit Big Barry on the lead. Gee, he's been a terrific player for them over the last couple of weeks. 7 goals he kicked last week, Barry Hall, and 4 to this stage.
14 disposals, 10 marks for Barry Hall tonight. And you mentioned during the three-quarter time break, Robert, if it wasn't for that 5-week suspension, he could pretty much have won the Coleman medal this year.
Well, he was on track to do that, and it's cost him dearly.
Hall has hit the post. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 posters tonight, 4 of them to the Swans. And Barry Hall's kicked 4 goals, 4.
10 marks tonight to Barry Hall and 15 possessions. He had 11 marks and 19 possessions for his 7 goals, 3 last week. So a couple of big weeks to finish the season. Chaffee delivers precisely to Tawney. Tigers need to kick a couple of goals pretty early just to get some momentum back. Goods drifts in from the side, can't take the mark, but nicks front and centre around the body. Williams, he came alive in the third term. Kicks towards half-forward. O'Loughlin in space. Will it get to him? Yes.
Dangerous kick, because had Richmond got the ball or got a strong spoil, it opens it up, but he backed his kicking skills, Williams.
O'Loughlin from 55. Thumping kick, it's offline. Swarble keeps it in. Oh, Kirk kicks a goal. Great play from Swarble. He kept it in. Kirk was running, waiting at the front of the pack and just toe-poked it through. So the Swans extend their lead now. Now to 27 points, and that might be just enough, Rob.
Well, I think so. Goals have been hard to get. Good effort there by Swarble to keep the ball alive. That's all he wanted to do, was keep the ball in play in a dangerous spot. And Kirk able to take it easily and drop it on the left boot and put it through. And it's a pretty handy lead that Sydney have got now.
So it's 28 points in favour of the Swans. All important first goal of the final term going to Sydney. Tivendale. Campbell. Turnover as Kelly gets it to Creswell. Here come the Swans again. Creswell drives it long. He's had 24 disposals. It's a great kick. Hall takes the mark and he's off and running Barry Hall. Shepherd Lane as Hall goes for home. Just misses. Barry's kicked 4 goals, 5.
He was on the burst from full forward to take that mark. He would have led every bit of 30-40 metres to receive it. His confidence is absolutely sky high.
Tawney gets it to Roden. He had a loose player at the top of the goal square. But he's on fire, so why not have a go? He's given away numerous goals tonight, Barry Hall. Roden. Richardson the target. In from the side, Goods, who's been a workhorse tonight.
Twice in this quarter, and it's only gone forward twice for the Tigers. Goods has got back to help Saddington out on Richardson. So they're playing for each other.
15 possessions tonight for Adam Goods. Ball to the back, Crouch, who's had an influence. Kick inside, attacking 50 Hall. Well, that's probably his easiest opportunity all night. Great pressure coming from O'Loughlin, but he's given away the free kick. He'll come back to Zanta. For a push. Kicks across the ground to Tivendale. Casual bounce. Chips to Cameron. Still inside defensive 50, the Tigers. Now Cameron works it towards the wing. Schwabel courageously going back. Richardson makes a contest and earns a free kick on the wing.
Worked hard, Matthew Richardson, up against 2 or 3 opponents every time he goes for the ball.
Tawney's loose in the centre. He doesn't see Tawney. Instead kicks to the true centre-half forward position where it's all Sydney. Mark taken by Goods. Kick out wide. Saddington. Loose player over the top, Matthews. Needs to get rid of it quickly and does. Fosdyke. Paul, one out inside attacking 50. Makes a couple of leads. Fosdyke ignores that. Now he's got no one to kick to and Richardson gets back. So now Hall makes a 4th lead. And Fosdyke hits him on the chest at half forward. Richardson's back playing a loose player for the Tigers in their defensive 50. And there's no movement from the Sydney forwards. Now Doyle runs back. Kirk provides something. Ball chips towards Seymour. Almost takes the mark. Kirk. Kick smothered. Now a chance for the Tigers.
It's Roden to Richardson in his own defensive 50. To Rogers, back to Richardson. Tries to create something. Needs some help from some teammates. And we'll have a ball up.
Got numbers around the ball, Sydney. We just have a look at the red and white there as opposed to the yellow and black. And particularly through the midfield, they are just working and running hard and supporting each other. And Richardson bolted from centre-half back there, but he was eventually run down.
Ball against Goods. That's a free kick to Hall for a hold. Free kicks 18-7 tonight in favour of the Tigers. As they go inside 50, that's a great mark by Ottens. He's too tall. And Ottens has got a player on. It is Tivendale who'll run on, and he should kick a goal. Oh, he's missed it. That's a shocker.
And the reason he missed it is that he kicked that ball no more than 30 metres. And it's a thumping kick, and he just laid back and cozied it through. And he just needs to really hit that ball hard, kick it 50 metres. Don't just try to push it through over 30.
So need goals, Richmond.
Williams. Saddington in front. Fist from Tawney. Effective because Tigers have got players at ground level. Roden keeps it in now. Decides to kick towards Richardson. Chipping in front. Next missed it. Duncan Callaway off to Ottens. And Ottens runs in and kicks an open goal. The Tigers get one back. They've got plenty of work ahead of them if they're to get over the Swans tonight.
And little Roden, he's worked hard, pushes the ball into the forward line. Nix misses the mark, and quick hands there from Duncan Callaway. And it's finished off there for Brad Ottens, his first goal of the evening.
So they're not out of it, the Tigers. They only trail by 22 points. Plenty of time left in this last quarter.
Yeah, and Goods coming off. Doyle doing the ruck work.
The next one here would be very handy for the Tigers. That'll put them right back in the hunt.
Well, you're right, Stephen. A couple of quick ones to Richmond. All of a sudden, Sydney get a little bit nervous because they've virtually had control in this second half, but Sydney have only kicked the 13 goals. It's not like they're 6 or 7 goals in front. They've had the bulk of the play, but they haven't converted on the board.
Gasper now playing up half forward for the Tigers.
Crouch for Sydney to half forward. The spoiler was Andrew Kellaway. Sydney had numbers at the board. Seymour to McPherson to Matthews around the corner. Barry Hall, and that is absolute courage from Andrew Kellaway. Oh, he deserved a medal for that. That was brilliant play. As Rogers heads for the boundary line, he had Barry Hall bearing down on him, Andrew Kellaway. And that takes a lot of guts.
Well, Andrew Callaway's as game as they come. His brother's pretty brave as well. That's a good effort. And Richmond have got Bitterscombe playing on Barry Hall at the moment.
Schwabel gets it to the back. Chaffee, deft little touch is effective to Cameron. Run provided by Coughlin. Shocking kick. Williams marks on the wing. Now he transfers play across the ground. It's a dangerous kick. McPherson needs to make a contest. Numbers with the Tigers. Cameron, Bowden, Concedes ground with a poor handball, but Tivendale's got plenty of time. Now he pulls it back towards Campbell. They've got no one to kick to at half forward. The Swans have built a wall across their half-back line. Rogers chips wide. Richardson
Needs to get it on quick to Stafford or Rottens.
Barry with the job back on Richardson as it was at the outset. High, long, thumping kick towards Stafford in front. Ball to the back. Shawball, good position. Kept his head. Got it to Williams, who just darts the back and eluded the Stafford tackle. Spiral kick to Kelly. The Swans away. Great tackle from Duncan Kellaway, but he got the hands free at the handball back to Kirk. Not much to kick to. Hall's got to beat about 4, and he marks. Great kick from Kirk.
Just don't know why you have Bitterscombe on Barry Hall. Maybe Zantuck.
They've got 5 loose players inside defence of 50, the Tigers. So as a consequence, Hall kicks across to Fosdyke. Still no one back.
Big Doyle pushed into the forward 50 for Sydney, and they'll just play possession until they set it up.
Seymour across to Matthews. Still not too much to kick to there. But a good little chip kick, and they worked it out very cleverly. Mark taken by Crouch. And as you said, Rob, just chipped it around, waiting for the opportunity.
Yep, and they did it well. They did it well because they didn't have anyone back in the forward 50, so they kept possession, just took it from one side of the 50 arc to the other, and then finally the little chip pass into Crouch, and yeah, he should finish off with a goal from there.
40,386 here tonight. They'd be wrapped to Sydney and the AFL with that crowd.
Terrific crowd, isn't it?
Jared Crouch has played all 22 games in season 2002. Kicked just the 4 goals. So from 50, kicks it to the top of the goal square. Fly from Kelly. Now a chance for Roden. Hard up against the line. Bitterscombe provides support. Kelly goes at it hard and gives away a free kick.
Gee, Crouch didn't have the confidence to kick a goal from 45 out. In the end, he just tried to set it up on the end of the goal square. Blood rule, Kelly coming from the field. And Captain Courageous gained 234.
Watch it again.
He plays for keeps, doesn't he?
He certainly does. There's no holding back.
So that's 22 points in favour of the Swans. The Tigers still not out of it. There's Bitterscombe at half back to Rich.
Gee, he's hurt himself now, Barry, with that leap. I think he'd be okay, but that, well, it was spectacular and reckless at the same time. Left
Set on
early
his head.
and then landed on his own head.
He's up, so it's good news.
Richardson running off Barry. Barry's obviously shaken up, and Richo not quite there.
Oh, here's a chance for the Tigers. Gasper. But Sydney are up to the challenge. Creswell. McPherson got caught high. Umpire said play on. Well, Kelly getting some treatment on the nose, so he can come back on. He's going to be sitting down in the last 15 minutes or so of his AFL career. Stafford. And we'll have another throw.
I don't think that's going to be right. I think we'll see him back.
As I'm saying, he doesn't want to be sitting down.
Sorry, yeah, he'll be back.
No way would a blood nose keep him off.
Got to get a goal, Richmond, in the next 2 or 3 minutes to have any hope.
Ground level. Stafford trying to just walk with the back of the pack on his back. Not effective, so another bounce. 55 metres from the Richmond goal. Stafford just takes it out. It took plenty of time. Could have almost been penalised. Barry gets a free kick for a high tackle against Stafford. The Swans are away, but the ball must come back. So Leo Barry, in fact it's Doyle, kicks high. O'Loughlin, clever. High to half forward. Creswell at the back, standing his ground in front. Good mark taken by Coughlin.
Young Tiger, 19 disposals. Beaten on the night by Creswell.
Rogers to Richardson. Not on this occasion. Matthews. He's been very inventive tonight. And they'll have a ball up as Nix is about to come off for Sydney. And Goods comes back on. There's Paul Kelly still getting all sorts of things stuffed up his nose. So stem that bleeding so he can get back on. Crouch, can't control it. Campbell, quick hands to Coughlin. Now Richmond back inside their 50. A lot of wrestling going on off the ball. Gasper's up forward. He can't mark. Seymour. Sweeping handball to Creswell. Touch number 28 for him. O'Loughlin. Oh, great hands to Bolton. Now Doyle. Swings onto the left boot. To the 50. Barry Hall attacks it. Doesn't get a kind bounce. But he still might get it after all. He does. So Hall 55 out. It's past Zantuck and good kick to McPherson. And McPherson will line up from about 51 metres out on a slight angle. And if he can thread this one through, it'll just about be the sealer.
Yes, another mark inside the forward 50 to Sydney, and they do that really well. Gee, big Stephen Doyle showed a bit of skill on the outer wing. A couple of side steps, and he's a player of the future for them, young Doyle.
Barry Hall, 13 marks, 17 kicks, 2 handballs and 4 goals for. He's set numerous goals up, been outstanding tonight.
And this little fellow with the footy, he's done a good job. He started on the interchange bench, and he's been right in the middle of it since he came on.
Another blood rule. He's coming off now.
Leo Barry. He might have got that blood nose when he landed on his head after that spectacular leap. Well, Paul Kelly coming back on might mean that Duncan Callaway comes back on, because Callaway was benched as soon as Kelly came off. You hear the fans giving him a cheer.
So it's Daniel McPherson with the football. He's kicked 1 goal 2 this evening. That's what confronts him from about 51 metres out. See, it's a sensational kick. Never in doubt. Two goals to McPherson. The Swans get their 14th, and you reckon that would be enough. It's 28 points of difference with 8 minutes left in the game.
And it was another goal, Stephen, that big Barry Hall had a hand in. We've seen him kick 4 goals tonight, and I would think he's given away at least another 3 or 4 goals. And again, just saw his little mate just inside the 50-metre arc, chip pass, hit him on the palm, hit him on the chest.
Great goal from McPherson. Another goal set up by Barry Hall. Goods. Coughlin, who's tried hard. Bowden, handball was too fierce for Cameron. Tigers still take it away. Campbell, Chaffee. Fiora, was he pushed in the back? No. Matthews now mops up for the Swans to Goods. Back to Matthews. Trying to work their way through this congested area in the midfield. Kirk, no one stands the mark, so he plays on. He's been a good player tonight, Kirk. High towards Kelly and Zantuck. Zantuck, great mark. No mean feat against the Sydney captain. To Zilla, still inside defensive 50. Andrew Kellaway. Chaffee, crisscross play by the Tigers. That's a poor kick. Bowden got a hand on it. Gives himself a second chance to go and get the ball, and he earns a free kick. He got it to Roden, who thought about going on. Bowden, long towards the goal square. Dunkley comes across the face. Takes the mark. Just hoists it back to Nestor Swans. Fosdike to Bolton. Awkward looking kick. Stay in no.
And Michael, you've called it crisscross play by the Tigers. Yeah, they can't afford to do that. The clock's starting to work against them. 18 minutes in, and they're behind by 4 or 5 goals. They've just got to be far more direct. They can't play possession footy.
Jude Bolton there, just topping one high.
Yep, and he's coming off. He's coming off under the blood rule too after that accidental elbow. So 3 Swans spilling blood tonight.
And the Sydney chant. Have we heard that at Stadium Australia?
No, this is a first.
Telstra Stadium.
40,000 plus. I reckon the old diggers would be enjoying it tonight.
Yeah. Well, they've hit on a winner here, Sydney, haven't they?
They have. 3 games here this year, and good crowds to each game at Telstra Stadium.
And a lot of people attending in those 3 games that haven't been to an AFL game before, so it's been a great move in the Sydney hierarchy. Hall, Roden, flicks it to Bowden, who wobbles it back towards the wing. Great play, brilliant play from Ray Hall. He runs to 45, drop punt is... just misses.
No, it's a goal.
No, it's a goal. That's a great effort from Ray Hall. He's kicked 4. So Ray Hall's kicked 4, Barry Hall's kicked 4, and the Tigers get a goal, but it would seem that it's just they're going to run out of time.
Yeah, I think Ray Hall's a real find for Richmond. He's been there a year or 2, but I like the way he backs himself. Look, he's a tall man, and he runs and carries that football, and then on that left foot of his, it swings back through for a goal. That's his 4th of the evening. He's a player of the future. Very impressed with him.
"22 points. Sydney lead, and there's a lot of patchwork being done on the Sydney bench at the moment. Running out of swabs as they force the ball forward to Swans. O'Keefe, high ball. Can Kelly get a mark and goal? But on this occasion, as Gasper spoils, and over the line it goes. So just over 6 minutes left in the game. Sydney lead by 22 points. And Paul Kelly, his AFL career is almost over, as is Andrew Dunkley's.
Barry Hall should win the ruck work against Gasper.
He did to Crouch, he just didn't get a kind bounce. Here's Kelly, he didn't get a kind bounce either. Well done by Coughlin. Now Kelly won't give up, he gets it now. Little handball over the top to Crouch. In the pocket, tries to square it up. Gasper gets there first, runs into Kirk. Clears it to Rogers. To Roden, sidesteps Williams, well done. The Tigers are away. Roden's kick though went straight to Goods, and Sydney out of trouble. Goods to Kelly. No mark. Chaffee, Bitterscombe, ball kick. Coughlin, he's run down by Kelly. Now Bitterscombe and Creswell, they meet. Kelly in again hard. Zilla to Roden, look out, look out, he got past Turner, well done by David Roden, great skill. Towards Richardson.
Yeah, he's just filled the hole, and Goods, time and again, he's got back in front of Matthew Richardson to be a stumbling block.
Creswell runs hard as we get the 5-minute warning. Kick out wide Hall. This from Gasper, now back on Barry Hall, but Hall fights on hard at ground level, so does Gasper. Numbers though with the Swans. O'Loughlin paddles it to Kirk. Kirk 55 from goal. Loose player. Guess who? Barry Hall.
Yeah, great pick-up by O'Loughlin to dish it off to Kirk, and even better play by Kirk, who had the vision to see Barry Hall just out the side, and again set up a teammate with a pass. Look at that pick-up there. Geez, a good player, Michael O'Loughlin. Just a little quick handball, and then Kirk on his left foot just squares it across to Big Barry. And it'd be fitting for the big fella to kick another goal because he's worked very hard and set so many up for his mates.
14 marks, 19 possessions, and he's kicked 4 goals, 5. Chance from 40 metres. It looks good, he's kicked 5. So Barry Hall capped off his evening. He has been absolutely fantastic tonight. He's kicked 5 goals, 5.
Just the skills of Michael O'Loughlin at ground level for a tall man. And young Kirk, he's another one who's just improved under the coaching of Paul Roos over the last 10, 11 weeks.
So the Swans are home. To move into time on here at Telstra Stadium. Zilla to half forward. Fiora couldn't take the mark. He's had a quiet night. Zilla did well to get it to Rogers, to Richardson, who's worked his backside off. Saddington's happy to knock it over the line for a throw-in.
Saddington's done a pretty good job on Matthew Richardson. Richardson's first half was really good on Leo Barry. He took 7 or 8 marks. Saddington in the second half has done a pretty good job. At the same time, Richardson's been against the odds because Goods and Doyle have been dropping back on him all the time.
Well done by Hall. Couldn't get a clear kick. Now Sydney through Kennelly. Again, they break into open spaces. Matthews to half forward. Hall paddles. Just run down. Sydney still get possession. It's O'Keefe. He goes long. O'Loughlin. Class act.
Just a terrific bit of football there by Sydney. And O'Loughlin, Tawney stayed with him and done a reasonably good job. O'Loughlin's always had the size advantage. Whether he kicks a goal or a behind, it'll be the 30th scoring shot of Sydney. And I reckon that's significant because it's just an indication of the attack and the directness with which they're playing.
So Michael O'Loughlin has kicked 2 and he makes no mistake. He's got his third after that great mark. And Sydney are home, 110 plays 76. So Paul Kelly and Andrew Dunkley are going to be farewelled in style with Sydney's 9th win of the season.
Big Barry again on the lead. Bitterscombe on him. Just the strength of the man. O'Keefe does well here. It's a lovely left foot kick to advantage of O'Loughlin, to the advantage side of him. And O'Loughlin clever enough to be able to just keep Tawney away and bring it in with the one arm.
So back in the centre, Ottens, Bolton. Now a chance for Cameron, who just hoists it high towards half forward. Dunkley in front. Much to the delight of the Sydney fans here at Telstra Stadium, who are farewelling Andrew Dunkley tonight. What a fantastic career he's had. Goods kicks short to another man, Paul Kelly. And I suspect even bigger applause. Fixed up. Dunkley, here we go again.
They're just playing up for the crowd now.
Saddington's loose across the ground. Handball to Goods, who wobbles it towards Saddington. He takes it, the Swans away. The short ball's loose. Saddington just runs, pumps it long inside, attacking 50. Well played by Andrew Kellaway in front of Doyle. He's been a pretty good player tonight, particularly in the first half.
He's 11 marks to Andy Kellaway.
Chips, Fiora has been quiet. Just off a step, out wide, Rogers. Boundary line too close, so just missing the mark there with the kick. This probably typifies the second half of the Tigers. They led by a point at quarter time, by 4 points at half time, but in the second half it's just all been Sydney. Cameron, Ottens, wobbles it towards half forward. Saddington meets the football and Richardson gives a contest, but a boundary throw in at half forward for Richmond.
Just looking at Paul Kelly's statistics for the evening, he's had 7 kicks, 8 handballs, 3 marks and numerous tackles, as he always does.
Creswell, he's had 30 now as he wobbles it back into the middle. Next to Kelly, to Crouch. Can they get one last one? Crouch drills it long. Doyle has got the front position. It's a mark. He's paid it. So Doyle directly in front, only 15 metres out, should kick his second goal for the evening.
And another attacking move from half-back through the centre square. They don't go wide, and Crouch with the long kick to the big target up forward.
And just exposing Richmond's weakness, which they've really had all year in the absence of Ben Holland, just with the lack of height in their key defensive post. Andrew Kellaway been asked to really play on bigger and taller opponents all year, and in the end, it tells. Stephen
Doyle, from pretty much point-blank range, kicks his second. So he's an exciting talent for the future. He's only 21, Stephen Doyle.
His father played for Sydney, or the old South Melbourne, many years ago. They've got some tall options. You know, Doyle, Ricky Mott, who's played a lot of games for them this year. Adam Good's a different type of ruckman, the more mobile type, but they can mix and match, which they've done this evening, and do it really well.
I can't wait to the answer to our cyber coach question, because I just don't think Paul Roos could have done any more to prove to the Sydney board that he's the man for next year. Ottens and Goods. Goods gets it down Williams. Here they go again. High to half forward. Jaffe makes good ground. Marks in front of Nix. Kicks to Tawney. Through centre-half back position. Transfer of play.
They're not really trying to score, the Tigers.
Kellaway. Hall. He's been a good player for the Tigers.
They take it wide, and then out of bounds on the half-forward flank.
In contrast to the way the Swans have played in the second half, they've been very direct. And they've had great run from their half-back line and from their midfield. They set the opportunities up, which has seen them been outstanding in this second half. Kirk just foils Zilla and fights on. Stafford, King, kick around the body. Contest in the goal square, almost a great mark to Richardson. Dunkley and set in and fight for it. Leave it to Dunkley, and that's the final siren. A memorable victory to the Sydney Swans by 40 points over Richmond. And what a send-off for their two champions, Paul Kelly and Andrew Dunkley. And there he is. What a fantastic player he's been for the Swans. Illustrious career. And Paul Roos, who must be feeling elated for both those two players, of course, Dunkley and Kelly, but also for the fact that he's got the Swans up playing some great attacking football, getting over the Tigers tonight.
Absolutely, Michael, and I just think it's great that a crowd of 40,000 plus came here to Telstra Stadium in Sydney to see Paul Kelly and Andrew Dunkley play their final games. They've been marvellous players for Sydney, and they did their team proud. Both boys did their job, and for Sydney to race home in that second half, 12 goals in that second half to find it.
Let's go down to Neil Corney with Barry Hall. 5 goals for tonight for Barry Hall.
Barry, the 5-week break didn't seem to do you any harm.
Certainly hasn't. I hadn't expected to come back and do this, but look, I don't want to take a long line away from Cal and Dunks tonight. It's their night, and I'm just glad we did it for them.
Yeah, speaking of that, you've only had a year to play with them. Tell us a bit about what it's been like in that year.
Oh, look, as far as Cal goes, he's just an inspiration. He's probably, along with Robert Harvey, one of the best players I've played with. And as far as Dunks goes, I've only known him to go a year, and it feels like I've known him for 10. You know, he's just a pretty easy-going bloke and obviously pretty good player. So.
And everybody seems to have responded to Paul Roos at the moment.
Yeah, it's been great. He's given a bit of a licence to play our footy, and look, everyone's responded in a pretty positive way. So, look, there's no control over who's going to coach or not, but fingers crossed.
And you must be absolutely, after a massive downer, this must be particularly good to finish the year on a high.
Yeah, well, look, I hate the club, that's for sure. So I suppose next year now I've got to play 22 games and hopefully finals. So
I noticed in the second quarter I was watching you were getting a bit frustrated. The ball wasn't getting to you, but you kept it under control.
Yeah, that was one of the things Roosy said is just keep working hard, keep the work rate up, and the other things will happen. So, and it did. It turned around, and it's certainly something I can learn from.
Go and enjoy your time with Dunks and Kelly.
And we see there Stephen Zilla being carried off, which obviously means he's announced his retirement, Robert.
Yeah, it's no surprise, Stephen. Stephen Zilla, of course, played with St Kilda.
156 games his career.
Played in their grand final back in '97 and crossed over to the Tigers for 2 or 3 seasons. And he's one of those fellas who you'd love to have as a teammate. Gives his all, plays for the team, and no doubt that's his last game of AFL. We had a lot of retirements this year.
But the Sydney huddle, amongst them is Paul Kelly and Andrew Dunkley, who between them have played 451 games for the Sydney Swans. 2 of their all-time greats. It's their night tonight. Let's go down to Neil Cordy with Darren Creswell.
Yes, Darren, you've played all your career with Cal and Dunks. Just a fitting way to send them off tonight.
It is. It's a pity about all the coaching stuff that's gone on. It's taken the focus away from 2 great champions at our club. And it was a big game for me to play with probably 2 of my closest mates who I've played with for 12 years. And to get a win for them, that's enormous, and they deserve every bit of it.
Well, you got a ton of the footy. You had 19 touches in the first half. You obviously got yourself up for this one.
Yeah, I've been focusing on it all week since Keller announced his retirement. It sort of hit me pretty hard. I thought he was going to play for another year and sort of just wanted to go out and do my best for two great players.
And tell us, I mean, when Kel came, it was without any great fanfare, and a lot of people said at that stage, well, who would have predicted what he'd do?
Exactly. He just got up in front of us and said, you know, my body's gone, I can't go on, and sort of hit the playing group a bit deep because he's been such a champion and we all expected him to play on, and certainly going to be different not having him around.
And Dunks as well, what he's done with his career.
Oh, he's a champion, Dunks. He's been solid for our backline for like 12 years and just a fantastic player, and, you know, it's just that win for them is just enormous.
And to get 40,000 out here, in the end, it hasn't really been, you know, much for the fans to get behind the Swans on the field, but to have them come out on these numbers is great.
Yeah, it is. They've come out and watched two of the greatest players to play for our club, finished on a high note. You know, they've been fantastic all year and stuck by, so they've been great.
Thanks for your time, Barry.
Derek Presnell down there with Neil Cordy. So just going through Paul Kelly. He's been a Swan for 13 years after being recruited from Wagga. He's 33 years of age now. He's been captain for 10 years. Won the Brownlow in 1995. Best and fairest at Sydney 4 times. And an All-Australian 3 times. That's the captain, Paul Kelly. For Andrew Dunkley, he's 34. A Tassie boy. Made his debut back in 92. Played 11 years for the Swans. And he's dished a few out in his time, Robert, but he's copped even more and he's never whinged. He's a hard nut.
Isn't that a lovely way to finish your career? To walk slowly along the boundary line in front of your adoring fans, to be able to actually touch the supporters. Well done to the Richmond Football Club. Danny Frawley has asked his players to stay out, witness all of this, and I think that's a magnificent tribute. And it's because this fella here and Andrew Dunkley are so highly respected in AFL ranks. Gee, it's a good feeling.
We saw earlier this year for the Sydney Swans, we saw Wayne Schross go out. Well, we don't need to say anything with that one. We saw Wayne Schross go out. That was a fitting night at the SCG when he was farewelled in style. Tony Lockett, I guess, didn't really get a chance to say goodbye for a second time, but he had a good farewell the first time round.
And Andrew Dunkley had known all of those people behind the goals playing at full-back week in, week out. He'd known on a first-name basis. Isn't that lovely?
So Sydney tonight have won in the end easily by 40 points with Barry Hall kicking 5.